Coming up, tonight's Sunday Night Talk, Dressed for Success Super Bowl edition is up and ready. The season comes to an end. We put a bow on it. The Super Bowl just happened. Myself and Omar Carmona break it down. But not only do we break it down, we give the Super Bowl our special spin, and that means categories. That's right. But before that, don't forget me doing live stand-up comedy. That's right, I said live, not on Zoom, not on a computer, live. I am back in Salt Lake City, February 19th and 20th. Doing shows, doing live stand-up comedy. If you are in the area, you can see me there. I can't wait. But right now, the Sunday Night Talk is hot and ready. We are ready. We do a little bit of drinking on this show. We give quite a few toasts, and we end up going down a lot of roads. But hey, it's Sunday night. That's what you do. Super Bowl 55, the Sunday Night Talk for myself and Omar Carmona. Get ready, because here it is. All right, it is the Sunday Night Talk, the season finale. We are here Sunday night. Omar Carmona recording this 9:03 West Coast time. We just took in the Super Bowl, putting a bow on what was the 2020 season. We're drinking tonight. We are dressed for success as we had the main event. So starting us off, Omar, what are you drinking?
Okay, I know you got champagne there, and I just got to let everyone know, I finished all the champagne this morning, so I don't have anything else like for this evening. But I'm going to go with a Johnny Walker Black Neat, and I'm going to have a Miller Lite.
Ah, very nice. Well, as kicking off the season finale, we're closing out tonight. Let's start with a toast. The 2020 season came to an end today. Cheers to that.
Cheers. It's over.
Well, we had the Super Bowl today. I forgot that it's an all-day event, essentially. And we prepped with food. We were talking about how we were going to break this all down. It is quite a bit to digest Super Bowl Sunday in general. There's pregame, there's rumors going around. And in these days with social media and nonstop coverage, there's really no lack of content to just sort of consume. When did you start viewing essentially the hype and all the stuff today?
Well, let's kind of talk about that, because I was watching golf for the better part of the early afternoon, late morning, early afternoon. Of course, historically, the Phoenix, the Waste Management Open right out of Phoenix always comes on the same weekend, and it's one of the more exciting tournaments because they have that famous hole. That famous par 3 where they have that big stadium and people are drinking and throwing crap on the golf course. And it's probably the only golf course in the country you can get away with that. But so I watched a lot of golf today. We were talking last week. I didn't really watch many Super Bowl replays. Were they really on? I didn't see any really on. I didn't watch, but I didn't start watching the Super Bowl till about 30 minutes before kickoff.
Oh, okay. Well, I always appreciate alternative programming. So this is a Bud Light toast to me. Toast to alternative programming and golf for getting in there and throwing your hat in the ring. Good job, golf.
Cheers.
Yeah, I started early in the morning, and all week I was prepping. I'm just watching old Super Bowls on YouTube, just trying to get a feel for how the game's going to be, the ambiance, the vibe of it all. If I were to give this Super Bowl sort of an intro, we had Super Bowl 55, which God bless Roman numerals, because I have no idea. I lost all ability to count Roman numerals after it got to 40. That used to be the only way I knew Roman numerals was from the Super Bowl. So we're at Super Bowl 55.
I guess XL would have been 40, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think XL is 40. This one was, I wrote it down. This was L.
LV.
LV, yeah, 55. So this Super Bowl capped off the season. I wrote down we had the ideal matchup Super Bowl. We had the legacy versus the new generation. This was a great ending to what's been an up and down season, although more ups than down. I think we all had hopes of an offensive showdown, offensive explosion. We had a lot of questions, more so, can Tampa Bay keep up with KC?
Well, yeah.
Overall, we had our first hometown team Super Bowl.
First time ever. Wow.
First time ever. We had that. And then as the game sort of progressed, it was kind of said and done very close to halftime. And then we kind of had a victory lap, a coronation of Tom Brady, and then a victory lap for the defense of Tampa Bay as well in the second half. And ultimately, it was an enjoyable Super Bowl, although not competitive, an enjoyable game. Your thoughts?
Obviously, Tom Brady was going to get the MVP. I mean, was anyone really shocked that he got the MVP? No. The answer is no.
Shocked.
No, not shocked. However, who stepped up the biggest? Well, it was about those maybe, 17, 18 defensive players, just coming in and out of the game, and that defensive depth. That, I mean, you can't give them all the MVP, and I get that, but nothing was more valuable to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers than that defensive performance.
Yeah, the defense was big. I agree with you. We all thought Tom Brady was going to be the MVP, but there was a little sliver in my head that it was going to go to, like, say, the team defense or a defensive player. And then I thought, watch, Brady's going to give away his MVP on the stage to the defense or a teammate or something like that. He's too wholesome. He's too wholesome. He's going to give it away. Let's backtrack for a second. Food. Let's talk food for a second. Let's toast to food. What did you have?
I had a big sandwich from the Brown Bag Deli. Just a huge sandwich. Got some chips. Wings were available, but I didn't have a single wing. I just went with the sandwich, the chips, and that was pretty much it. And I this local place, Humble Donuts here locally, had some Humble Donuts and enjoyed it.
Would you say, let's see, does that meal get a champagne toast or a beer from the bottle toast? What are we giving that one?
We're going to give it a beer from the bottle toast.
Beer from the bottle toast.
How'd you do?
Okay. I'm going to let my picture tell the story. Are you ready?
Got it.
Okay. Hold on. I'm going to bring it up. Hold on. Where's my share screen? Hold on. One more try. How do I share my screen? Oh, wait, I got it. Okay. Are you ready? Here comes my Super Bowl meal this morning.
Oh, wow. Looks good. Looks real good.
Yeah, I got a whole pizza. I've got wings. I've got a beer. I've got a Bloody Mary. And I've got a bowl of chips.
And obviously your pizza looks like a local joint. Is that so?
Yep, down the street. And I lucked out too with the pizza because I called in about 2:15. I was like, I'll get the pizza because I want to place it all out. And of course they're backed up.
Right.
So they're like, all right, it's going to be ready about, 3:30, which is game time here. I was like, oh shoot, that's cutting it close, but whatever. I'll take it now. And then as it happens, I get there a little early and they had it ready. So I was right on time.
Good. Well, good. And are you giving that a champagne?
I'm going champagne for that because I had wings, I had the pizza, I had the Bloody Mary, and I had the beer. So I like my spread.
I like the Bloody Mary touch. So cheers.
I love Bloody Marys. And then I started consuming all my food. I think this is the earliest I've been buzzed for a Super Bowl ever. I had a pretty good buzz going by mid first quarter. I got to say, I'm just drinking beer, drinking Bloody Marys, eating pizza and wings. And I look down and I have all the wadded up paper towels of napkins on my table. I'm like, I'm a mess. I've got 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. So double cheers to that. So that was my food consumption for the day. And it was really excellent. I even cut myself off halfway through and just did the chips. So, but I got to say, we dressed up for the game, but not only did we do that, we really prepared, because for this Sunday Night Talk edition, we have brand new categories for the game as well.
All right.
To break down. So a lot to get to, but before we do that, you said you didn't watch too much pregame. Two things stuck out at me that I found. Number one, this is what I gave the Super Bowl matchup if I were to give it a movie versus another movie. I would go,
Right.
We got Tom Brady versus Mahomes, Stand and Deliver versus Hustle and Flow. That was my description of how I would give Brady a movie title and what I would give Mahomes as a movie title. Stand and Deliver versus Hustle and Flow. Then I watched a bunch of pregame, and at some point, there's only so many times you can ask, tell me what your teammates mean to you. Tell me what family has been for you in this tumultuous season. Tell me how you've made changes to there's only so many times you could ask that. And then here's the weird one is Nickelodeon does a pregame interview with Tom Brady where they have the little kid doing like a Zoom screen with the sunglasses on. I got more information out of Tom Brady than I did any of those dumb Jim Brown. They're like, Tom Brady, what's your favorite pizza? And Tom Brady's like, I love the works. Tom Brady, how old were you when you learned how to drive a car? Oh, I was, 16. I love the Nickelodeon interview 10 times more than any sit-down interview with any of the reporters.
It was awesome. I got to give it to Nickelodeon. I think they've done a real good show with the graphics, with the commentary, and they got, they're getting football people to do commentary, which I like. So, I hats off to Nickelodeon. Really impromptu. I want to give a Scotch toast to Nickelodeon. That's a great.
Wow. Yeah. You're not old enough to drink yet toast.
Yeah, even though they're not old enough to drink it.
Good job, Nickelodeon. I thoroughly liked the interview. They had the little kid and Tom Brady was on the screen and they're just asking him silly questions and he's answering them 10 times better than any of the dumb questions we've gotten from the adult reporters that are like way too broad for them to answer anyway.
You know what I didn't like? I did check out Miley Cyrus rocking out with Billy.
We were texting about this. Yeah.
I don't know what that was. Like, I'm just there looking at them both and I'm like, I think Billy's trying to bang her. You know what I mean? A guy like Billy Idol, you just don't shut that off. You know what I mean? That just doesn't turn off.
It is interesting too. When do you turn the corner on this? Because it does seem 80s songs are not uncool yet. It seems there's a lot of covers of 80s that we still really enjoy.
If you go, I mean, obviously, I'm still very much into Sirius XM, and if you go like to Alt Nation, it's like every song you tune into, it's like has an 80s kind of beat, an 80s kind of, influence, and I think that's where alternative rock is right now.
Yeah, maybe 80s in a way gave a little bit of a birth to alternative 90s, and it still carries over. It doesn't sound dated. They're still fun songs. And today's artists are covering them. So they're not old. They're not uncool. They're kind of, I don't even want to say they're ironically hip. I just think they're hip. I did watch that. That was interesting. We had Billy Idol and Miley Cyrus, which Miley Cyrus is, let's say 25, right? How old do you think Billy Idol is?
Oh, he's got to be 60 something.
I guess it doesn't matter when you're both rocking out, but that is a huge age difference to sort of be rubbing up against each other.
So anyway, so that was that. I did like the America the Beautiful. I liked the national anthem. That was good. Obviously, the national anthem being sung in Tampa Bay just 30 years ago when we heard Whitney Houston's rendition of the national anthem also in Tampa Bay when they played the Tampa when the Bills and Giants played in the Big Sombrero. Um, that was special. I think Amanda Gorman's poetry also very beautiful to start. It was a very interesting start, and I think it was an appropriate start to given what we're going through right now. So I thought it was very appropriate to what was going on. So hats off to the NFL for putting on that pregame.
Cheers to that. I was thinking about the national anthem. It really starts and stops with the Whitney Houston anthem. Is there even one that compares or that is as significant? I can't even think of another
No,
national anthem that you would say, oh, you know what else was good? I can't even think of one.
No, I think that one's not in a league of its own. That national anthem was in a league of its own.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I don't even know what gets on the podium. That one stands out by far. Every time you bring up the national anthem, that's the one everybody refers to. And of course, at some point, everybody brings up that was playback, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter that she was lip syncing it.
Right.
We love it. We love that national, and we didn't find that out till like 10 years after the fact too. So I don't even take any points away from that, but. And in the game, we have a legacy. I think overall, the game, this is a legacy stamped in stone now at this point. We have Brady as the all time great of all time greats. We were joking about induct him into the Hall of Fame as soon as the game's over. It really could have happened tonight. I would not have minded that at all. Give him the jacket along with the trophy. So Brady's legacy, I think, is stamped in granite, concrete, stone, gold, whatever you want to call it, tonight.
I mean, and I think maybe it's a show we could visit maybe during the break. What is Brady's legacy now compared to Michael Jordan's, compared to Roger Federer's, compared to Wayne Gretzky, compared to Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods? I mean, where are we putting Brady when it comes to all timers? We're talking the GOAT of GOATs. And I think it's fair, and I think he's earned definitely a place in the conversation to be the GOAT of GOATs. That's interesting.
Good point. Yeah, where do we put him in the all time of all times? It's Jordan, it's Brady, it's Gretzky. There's some elite names that really don't go beyond 5 or 6 names, and he's definitely in there. He is the name. Brady, Jordan, keep going. He's the man that and this game did it. He's done it with 2 teams now. He's done it as an underdog. And then ironically, this was his biggest margin of wins or points?
The biggest blowout he's ever had.
Yeah. So this was really just a Brady show as it turned out. And we thought it was so going to be the opposite to it as well. So how about overall KC? How do you think they performed, or what do you think they lacked today?
Obviously, they just weren't prepared for this defense in particular. I just think it was a great game plan by the Bucs defense. But you know what? They're gonna be the. I hate to say this, but when they kick off week 1 next week, I'm sorry, but they're still the team to beat. You know what I mean? I think they're still the one everyone's gonna go after. Now, is the Buccaneers Brady story good? It's not only good, it's great. It's a great story. But this Kansas City team, I don't know if we match these 2 teams up next week. I don't know if the result's going to be the same, and maybe you can argue that in every game for every NFL, 2 teams that play each other. But that's a great team that Kansas City Chiefs team. So let's look out for them next week. I think I wouldn't mind saying right now they're going to be the odds-on favorite to go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl next year.
That's a good point. Yeah, what are their odds going to be for next year?
I don't think the Packers are going to be back. Rumors have it that Aaron Jones has played his last game in Green Bay. As super as he is, Tom Brady's going to be a year older next year. I mean, at some point, you Father Time is going to win at some point, and because like we say, Father Time is undefeated. So at some point, Brady's going to have that step down. Okay, um, and but we'll see what happens. And also you got to think, how much did that car accident, Britt Reed, Andy Reid's son, how much does that play into, when you have a son who could be looking at a possible intoxicated manslaughter? I mean, what's going to happen there?
That was a definite side note story to the games. We find out one of Andy Reid's sons is critically injured in a car accident before the game. We find out there's some alcohol involved. Other people are injured and critical. A definite story that is probably going to develop in the next few days.
For sure.
As far as Andy Reid goes, his sons have been in some trouble over the years. What was their first thing where they were?
So they were together.
Early offense.
They were running a drug emporium. It sounded like one of those like just at home drug emporiums, and they got a good prison pop for it. They did a good amount of time locked up, and then at some point, I guess after he gets out, Britt, who's the coach in trouble now, he puts a gun to a guy's face in a road rage incident, and then at some point, Britt's brother, Andy's other son, he dies of a accidental heroin overdose. So I mean that's tragic, and then you have this.
Jeez, I didn't know all that secondary stuff about Andy Reid. I kind of remembered the pills thing from 10 years ago, but I didn't remember the other stuff. All right, so this brings us to a category we've only revisited a few times this season called Defend Your Client. Omar, you get to put your lawyer hat on. You are the lawyer of Britt Reid coming off this car accident. Break it down for me. How are you mounting a defense? What are the details that you're looking for here?
This is going to be a tough one because from my understanding, and I know very little, my understanding is that the officers who are working up a warrant, and when we say work up a warrant, they're looking to probably get a blood draw, because I'd imagine that when they asked him for a voluntary breath analysis, he probably turned them down. Okay. But that doesn't mean the cops are struck. They get a warrant from a magistrate or a warrant from a judge, and they get to draw his blood, whether voluntary or not. They're going to get at least a blood sample. And a lot of laws are made so that in the event of a violent accident, that could be an exception to they get a warrant. And so as they're talking to him, and they're getting information from him, and he voluntarily, says, yeah, I've been drinking, I've had a couple drinks, and I've also taken a lot of Adderall, which could impair his ability to drive and using his normal faculties. So when you keep talking, like, that's why us lawyers, we tell our clients, just shut up, don't say anything. And from what I'm hearing, Britt said a lot, and that all that stuff is going to be admissible in court in all likelihood. So
I see.
He's in some serious trouble.
Okay, you're his lawyer. What's the move? What's the defense?
I'm in the NFL, baby.
That's your defense.
You asked,
how do you plead? I'm in the NFL, baby.
you ask your stud MVP quarterback to sign a few jerseys and sign a few footballs, and let's see if that moves anything.
Okay. Well, speaking of blood alcohol level, cheers to Defend Your Client segment from Omar Carmona. All right, let's do the categories. Categories for Super Bowl 55. First category is play of the game. Here are your options. Here are your nominees for play of the game or most rewatchable moment in the Super Bowl. Nominee number 1, the 4th and goal stop by Kansas City early in the game. Kansas City at the end of the first half being held to a field goal, but then Tampa Bay's next drive, a touchdown. Nominee number 3.
That stop. Okay,
go ahead. Okay,
no,
I'll give you all the nominees first. Third nominee, the Brady versus Matthew trash talk battle. Fourth nominee, the 4th and 9 Chiefs don't convert at the end of the third quarter. And then the last nominee for play of the game, the streaker, is our last nominee. Or you can write in your own. What was your play of the game?
I think the play of the game has to be. I love what you. I'm glad you brought it in. Tom Brady talking back to Tyrann Mathieu was incredible. I think his team needed to see it. I think quarterbacks at that age just, they're so much older. When you're, I'm thinking of when Favre was playing at the end of his career, Peyton playing at the end of his career from Montana, all the studs, Aikman, Steve Young. I'm thinking that when a young buck like Tyrann Mathieu, who is an established and respectable player, when he's talking to, I think most quarterbacks just walk off the field and say, yeah, blow him off. I'm a Hall of Famer. Who cares? Tom Brady went back after him. Like Tom Brady,
he did. It was a punch counter punch, definitely.
Tom Brady was already at his own sideline, and he just turned around and went straight for number 32. And I think that sets the tone for the rest of your team.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the trash talk. I almost wish it was a closer game so we could have a little more back and forth. But there was a couple spots during the game where we caught some really good Tom Brady audio. We got the trash talk back and forth, but there was a spot where they caught some audio of Tom Brady in the huddle. And then there was a spot where it was a critical third down, maybe a fourth down, and they catch Tom Brady yelling at the sideline saying like, run the same or like stick with this. It was really good Brady insight. And then the trash talk was excellent as well. I love the back and forth that when Tom Brady goes at, because it's so out of character too, but he's fiery, but it has to be brought out.
He was so good.
I did. Yeah, I like that back and forth battle. I wish it was a little more competitive, but
here's the Tom Brady.
Is this a champagne or bottled beer toast for Tom Brady's trash talk?
Anytime we are toasting Tom Brady tonight, it has to be the good stuff.
Okay. To Tom Brady's trash talk as the play of the game for Omar. My play of the game, I'm going to give it to the 4th down stop by Kansas City defense early in the game because the game was still competitive. We were still feeling each other out. We didn't know what each team was bringing. We didn't know how the defense was going to play against the opposition. So at that point in the game, I would say that was the play of the game. That was the series of the game, was the 4th down stop by Kansas City.
Didn't you get the feeling though that when they went for it, and but don't you also kind of like see in Bruce Arians that, wow, I got a lot of confidence in my team right now. I got a lot of confidence in my defense. So I think that there was a reverse play of the game for them. And when I say that, because you're talking in terms of, wow, the Chiefs made a big stop. Yes, they did. Not going to take that away from that unit. But at the same time, it's Bruce Arians telling his defense, guys, I will go for it on 4th and short all night long because I know you are going to stop Mahomes. I think it's so hard with Pat Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, and all the weapons they have. Watkins is back, Hardman, Robinson. You're talking about all these weapons, and then for you to say, I could get automatic points. I could get 3 points. I don't care. 3 points against this Chiefs team. Don't we always talk about how you need every single point if you're going to play this Chiefs team?
Right.
You know what I mean? And for them to say, guys, we're just going to go for it. We're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. That's telling your defense, guys, I believe in you. And I think that was a great call by Bruce Arians.
Yeah, and it was a great call, and they didn't even get it. They didn't
They
even
didn't
get
get
the
it.
touchdown. It
Right.
was a good setup because it was like, yeah, we got stopped. You could think like, oh man, they left points on the table. You can't give this offense anything. No, no big deal. We'll just take them at the one. I think Casey gets out of their end zone, but they did stop them and get a
Right.
punt out of that. So that was my play of the game. That was my most rewind it, watch it again moment because the game was still competitive at that point. It did give me some flashbacks to Dallas versus Buffalo, the very first meeting when Dallas has that big goal line stop against Buffalo early in the
Oh,
game,
huge.
where the game was like in the balance. It was competitive. Buffalo's got the ball in the red zone, and then they stop them. Buffalo goes for it on fourth down, and they stop them. So give me some good flashbacks to an era, 20 plus years previous goal line stand. So that was my play of the game. Any other ones we could write in for
You
play of the
know,
game?
um, I mean, how can you say that? Co-play of the games. Rob Gronkowski getting 2 touchdown
That's a good
catches
one.
from Tom Brady. It was just something special about it. That was just like, wow, all everything we've been through. You know what I mean? And and I'm gonna go to you in the biggest stage. When everybody is talking about how this kid Patrick Mahomes is gonna overtake me for being the greatest of all time. But no, no, no. I'm going to go with old reliable and get 2 touchdowns. Antonio Brown getting a touchdown catch. How about that? I
Yeah.
mean, you want to talk about the road to redemption, and we're not talking about the same Antonio Brown, 3, 4 years ago in Pittsburgh when he was just, shredding. But it seemed like for that one moment, it's like this is a guy that's had a hard road to get to where he's at in the Super Bowl. And you know what? Now he knows his role. And again, that's just the Tom Brady factor. He knows where he belongs in Tom Brady's system, in Tom Brady's universe. So good for them.
There was a good point brought up by, I think it was Phil Simms, one of the pregame CBS guys, that you had Gronk came out of retirement to play with Tom Brady. Antonio Brown comes out of retirement to play with Tom Brady. Um, Fournette wasn't on Buccaneers last year. He gets on the Buccaneers this year. So so Tampa Bay puts together this team that they didn't have last year, and they put together this offensive juggernaut, and
Right.
they all gelled. They all want to play with Tom Brady, the greatest. Like, I want to be associated with this guy, and I want to contribute to the team that he's on. Big, big points for them coming together and making that union happen. Gronk, Fournette, AB, put Tom Brady in the mix. It worked out. It totally worked out. They were an offensive juggernaut. Also, how about Tom Brady owning the end of second quarters? We saw it in the
Really?
Packers game. He throws a touchdown. And then in this game, he throws deep and they get the interference call and sets them up. There was a lot at the time. There was a lot of beef how were you feeling about those penalties on
You
KC? Did
know,
you feel they were ticky tack? Were they justified?
I will say one I can think of, maybe a second I can think of, may have been ticky tack. Now, but when I say ticky tack, I'm saying in real time, I imagine the referee saw something. Okay. There was not a call I was offended by. Let me put it that way.
Mhm.
On both sides. On both sides. Obviously the Chiefs fans are going to be thinking that they were robbed because it was Tom Brady and the officials were going to go Tom Brady's way. But honestly, there were really no calls. That last play where in the second half, or that last big play in the second half where Tom Brady goes deep. Hey, when you get your legs cut up like that, and you go down before the ball sails over the receiver's head, you're going to get called. So
Yeah.
that it is what it is.
I didn't like that they were throwing flags, but they were penalties.
They were penalties, right?
They weren't controversial, I didn't think. They were controversial in the sense that like KC couldn't get off the field. The defense couldn't get off the field. They were committing these holding calls, that pass interference one. He trips them up. I thought they were justified calls. They were just going all on the side of KC. So I didn't quite understand the argument of like, these refs are too involved. That's like saying like, hey, let's stop. We don't want so much crime in the bad neighborhoods. Oh, okay, great. Well, let's just stop arresting people. That'll mean less arrests, right? Right, but they're still committing crimes. Problem solved. We fixed the situation.
I'm
So,
with you.
so I didn't have a problem with it. I would have a problem if I was KC, like, man, we're getting beat a lot on these calls and we're having to commit penalties. So play of the game, you're going trash talk. I went the 4th and goal stop. Next category, best supporting role. This goes to our non-lead participant in the game. Here are your nominees. Number 1, Tyrann Mathieu. Number 2, Leonard Fournette. Number 3, Jake from State Farm. And number 4, the younger brother of Patrick Mahomes, Jackson Mahomes, who was apparently a social media star. I never heard of this guy before, but I looked him up and I'm looking at all his pictures. He towers over Patrick Mahomes. He's 20 years old. He's 6'6", and apparently all he does is make social media posts. He's flying on private jets. He's essentially sort of like the little like Mahomes family caretaker. He kind of escorts Mahomes' fiance around, and they're in the luxury box. So those are our nominees, or write in your own best supporting role.
I'm going to go with obviously Gronk is for, a consideration. I thought Bruce Arians, and we got to talk about Bruce Arians and his wardrobe, because do you really want all that machinery just hanging out of your shirt the way Arians he looks like Darth Vader.
He wore the microphone pack on his chest again, Darth Vader style.
Right, which is kind of strange. But I want to say the I like your Tyrann Mathieu, because every superstar needed a villain, and Matthew really lost his shit. So I'm gonna say that to play the villain, it was Tyrann Mathieu.
Tyrann Mathieu, that's pretty good. I like that. I think Fournette probably is the obvious pick for supporting role, but that's not very fun. So
I will say the good point about Fournette, wasn't it when they scored that touchdown, you said, okay, it's over. They're just not coming back from this.
Yeah. The side note of this game is the Buccaneers were running all over KC. This wasn't a lot of aerial battles. This was the Bucs just whooping KC's defensive line, and Fournette getting 5 yards every run, converting 3rd and shorts. He was a beast. Fournette and the O-line controlled it. So I think the weird part of this game is that just the running game was superior.
Awesome.
I think Jake from State Farm should get the best supporting, because he's been in these national commercials with Mahomes, Rodgers, all season long. He's in these, he's collecting residual checks. He's jacked. He's got this huge upper body, and they're putting him in these tight red State Farm shirts.
Right.
And then today's Super Bowl State Farm commercial, they have him and Drake doing a little back and forth. So if you get to be, the joke is like he's his stand-in. If your stand-in is Drake, you obviously think very highly of yourself. And that is confirmed by getting Drake to be your stand-in. So secret winner, Jake from State Farm, had a great season. He had an excellent run of commercials this year.
I like it.
Jake from State Farm, best supporting, and you're giving it to Tyrann Mathieu. Gronk could be an easy write-in vote for best supporting role. Bruce Arians could be good, although there weren't any big coaching situations today where like he really out-coached the other side. So maybe he wasn't in it as much. And then Jackson Mahomes, I look for big things from this kid. I want him to keep going with the social media. I want to see more of him. You got to check it out. He's got crazy hair. He's huge. And he's just sort of just living life at full speed, enjoying everything that comes with being Patrick Mahomes little brother.
If he's gonna build a social media empire on Instagram, he needs to get with Lori Laughlin's kid.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, he needs I think he maybe from looking at his social media, I think he's got this chick he's hanging with. Maybe
No.
it's his girlfriend. I'm not 100% sure, but you're right. He needs an equal partner social media celebrity to team up with. Yeah,
That
he's a good
makes sense.
follow. Although it was sad though, his posts sort of like go away once the Chiefs are are obviously going to lose the game. There were no more kind of selfie posts of them all like cheering, them all like celebrating because the game was out of hand. So that becomes the second part of the social media little brother of Patrick Mahomes is how do you handle a loss?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm going to give my Jake from State Farm best supporting role / Tyrann Matthews best supporting role. Is this a champagne toast or a bottled beer toast? If you're supporting role, I think it's a go-to bottled beer. I agree. All right. Next category. This is a fun one. This category is called the casting couch. If we're going to cast this game as a movie, who do you have playing the lead roles or support roles? It's totally open. I just wrote down a few names. I got Brady, Mahomes, Bruce Arians, Andy Reid, and then Tyrann Mathieu are all the people I casted. I got Tom Brady. I'll go to that last. I got a few names for him. I got Mahomes, Donald Glover.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
I think he can pull off the hair. I think he can pull off the swagger. I think he can pull off the Mahomes sort of trot.
I wanna throw out. I'm gonna throw out. Oh, what's his name? Is it Michael B. Jordan?
Ooh, nice. Okay. Michael B. Jordan for Mahomes.
Yeah.
I could see that. Athletic. That works. Okay. I got Bruce Arians. Eric Stone Street from Modern Family. I see him. I found out he's a KC guy. So this could be a little bit of a tough cast.
So why not give him Andy Reid's role?
I was thinking about that too, but then I had one I really liked for Andy Reid too. So I did think about that, but I'm gonna give Eric Stone Street to my Bruce Arians. Okay. Who do you got? Who do you think should play Bruce Arians?
Bruce Arians, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go something very plain here. Bruce Arians, I'll do. Oh, that's a good one. I'll do John Voight. I think John Voight can pull that off. We got to get a classic over here. Yeah.
Very interesting pick. I did not see that coming. I don't even have to wait for that one. That gets a champagne toast for me. Can you please give me your best John Voight? Are you going to listen to a GIMP reading from Varsity Blues?
You're listening to a GIMP?
double champagne toast. Okay. Andy Reid, casting for Andy Reid. I'm looking at this as a deeper character than you might think from the surface. That being said, I am casting as Andy Reid, Paul Giamatti.
Oh, that's a good one.
This is going to be one of those where this is going to go beyond the field because he's got some drama, some scandal going with his sons. So I think Paul Giamatti can pull this off as well.
Had he been alive, I'm going to go with Chris Farley to play Andy Reid.
That I would love to see that.
He could have done it.
Wow, that would be good. You know, one of the great tragedies. Wouldn't you have loved to see Chris Farley play a dramatic role?
See, that would be classic.
Do you think he could have done it?
Absolutely. I think he could have. He was such a talented.
I don't know if he has serious in him, but I do think there's a lot of torture in someone like him. And I think if he could have tapped into that, that would have been interesting to see.
Okay. Like that.
So you sort of went with a hypothetical,
Right.
Andy Reid. Okay, Tyrann Mathieu. I went with, you already said it, but I put Michael B. Jordan as my
Ooh.
Tyrann Mathieu. Super athletic, some swag, some attitude, some like almost a bad guy. I
I'm
think
gonna
Michael
go.
B.
I want to go with the guy leaves sports to become an actor, and I want to go with let's try Conor McGregor to be that loudmouth athlete on the big screen.
You know, and Conor McGregor as Tyrann Mathieu?
Yeah,
Wow. Interesting.
I have quite the cast here, Pat.
Hmm.
And
Quite
I
the.
haven't even told you who's playing Tom Brady yet. So let's go. Let's
I
keep
know.
going.
We're going to get to Tom Brady. Okay. Tom Brady, I have two. This is obviously going to be the lead in whatever movie we make. So I have two potential for Tom Brady. Number one, I have Bryan Cranston. Now, he's going to have to get in shape. He's going to have to maybe dye the temples of his hair a little bit, but I think it can be done. Or Ryan Reynolds plays Tom Brady.
Okay. Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds is Canadian. I don't know if we can allow that to play the greatest American hero, but I think Ryan Reynolds is also on my casting list for Tom
this is
Brady.
this one is the easiest call to make as far as my cast goes. I'm gonna go Clint Eastwood and don't even touch him with any sort of makeup. Just put Clint
What?
Eastwood. Just put Clint Eastwood in a football uniform, and you have Tom Brady.
He's 90 years old, Clint Eastwood. He's so old. Clint Eastwood is Tom Brady. Is our Tom Brady movie a drama, a comedy, inspirational? What kind of movie do you, or if we're just doing a Tom Brady story,
Well,
what's
I
our
mean,
gonna
he's
be?
the last one laughing, so how could it not be a comedy?
Comedy. Tom Brady, what's the comedy that he, oh, like what if he's like this like aloof millionaire mega athlete, but he really is sort of like oblivious to drama that's happening around him, say. That could be funny.
Right.
Yeah. You're going comedy. If we go drama, I say, okay, this is a post-career Tom Brady drama. Tom Brady wins all the Super Bowls, but but someone challenges him, kind of a la Rocky 6 or 7, when Rocky wants to fight the current champ because EA Sports did a virtual fight and the guy lost to Rocky, so he wants to fight the real Rocky.
Okay.
So Tom Brady is 5 or 6 years retired. He's 54 years old, and the current QB wants to challenge, the Patriots Brady, the Bucks Brady, and he calls out Tom Brady over his past aggressions, like the deflated footballs, the game tapes from the practice. So he's saying that Tom Brady is like a paper champion because of all those so little things. So Tom Brady has to somehow come back to the NFL and sort of prove his worth in this sort of drama. So if we're going to pick a drama, I say that we go that route. Post football playing Tom Brady drama.
Right. I like that. That'd be a good one.
Or maybe take football totally out of it. Tom Brady gets busted for insider trading and he has to go to prison. And somehow he gets in a scandal with like his cellmate and they have to break out of prison somehow. Sort
Okay.
of sort of like a Tango and Cash sort
Right.
of storyline. Could be. If
I
we're
like
gonna do
that.
that, then it's gotta be Ryan Reynolds. Or if we do it the prison way, Shawshank Redemption angle, then Bryan Cranston plays Tom
Right.
Brady.
I like that.
A lot of potential there. Potential for my casting couch. Okay, next category. This one's gonna take some thinking. This is the we'll never know category. This is situations that could have happened during the game that could have led to a different outcome, something that we cannot answer during the game. We'll never know. I got nominee number one, Is this the return of M. Night Shyamalan? I don't know if you saw the preview for the M. Night Shyamalan movie, but that's question number one. We'll never
Okay.
know. Number two,
Not a big fan, but okay.
okay, let me give you number two nominee. We'll never know. What were Goodell and Sia talking about in the luxury box that had Russell Wilson bored out of his mind? Did you see this clip where
It
Goodell,
was
Russell?
terrible.
It was
It
weird. It
was
had Goodell, Russell Wilson in the middle, and then his wife Sia were talking in between Russell Wilson, and he looks like he is in excruciating pain. What were they talking about?
who knows, but it did it. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but
Okay.
you know what? I think Goodell was just trying to talk to anybody because he knew, wow, you look like a real asshole going after Tom Brady the way you did several years back with that whole Deflategate thing. Take these deflated footballs and stick them straight up your ass, Roger Goodell.
Who was saying that to Goodell? Sia?
I think Sia was probably telling him that.
Okay. I got two more nominees. We'll never know. Mahomes' foot. Do we know if Mahomes' foot was 100% or not?
You know what I don't know about
Like
that
it
one
was.
it like you're saying, was it did he already have a bad foot or was it just tweaked in the game? I don't know. That's an interesting. I couldn't pinpoint when that happened or
Me
if it was
neither.
already happening.
And then last nominee for We'll Never Know. What if the Chiefs converted that 4th and 9 in the third quarter and they get a score? Do they make a run at it there? Those are our nominees for We'll Never Know. Let's start with the first one. Is this the return of M. Night Shyamalan? I think the movie was called The Beach. What did you think of that preview?
Not a fan. Not a fan. So
Not
don't
even a little bit. What's
let
your favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie? Do you even like M. Night Shyamalan?
signs. But
Signs, good movie. At some point too, I don't know when this happened. You start to get into the preview and you're like, what's this movie about? And then it says from the mind of M. Night Shyamalan, and you go like, forget it, rule it out.
like
I'm
I've
out.
been
When did
there,
that happen?
been there, done that.
Yeah, it used to be like, whoa, M. Night Shyamalan, what's this? And now it's the complete opposite. His name on a movie only hurts it. I did like the idea of somebody, the kid goes in the cave and he comes out 30 years older. I thought that was an interesting idea. So the return, I think we're sort of posthumously answering this is not the return of
No.
M. Night Shyamalan. He should change his name. He should go, what's the M stand for?
Miguel.
Miguel. He should go
I don't know.
Miguel.
I don't know if it's
Go.
for Miguel.
He should go Miguel N. Shyamalan or just Miguel N. Just sort of try and hide it a little bit because his name is hurting the product. All right. We'll never know. What was Goodell talking about to Sia that had Russell Wilson bored? I'm going to say Goodell was talking about doing a remodel on his home. And Sia was sort of like, she was sort of like humoring him in the conversation, and Russell Wilson was borderline falling asleep.
I think Goodell was telling Sia, I need you to look interested in this conversation because I know people are looking at me and they all want to hang me for what I did to Tom Brady.
What else could it have been? Oh, I would say he was talking about just grandiose community service, outreach, community things that Sia could do. And she's like, we'll get you and we'll get Russell and we'll do we'll do like a canned food drive. And Russell Wilson is like, I've heard this all before. This is a waste of my time. I am never doing that. I am just going to just sit here quietly and let Goodell and Sia talk about some bullshit. And I'm going to slink out of here in the next 7 seconds.
Yep.
I love that. I loved it. I love Russell Wilson bored out of his mind in the luxury box as Goodell was trying to talk over him. We'll never know. Patrick Mahomes' foot wasn't on any injury reports.
Okay.
We don't know. Was it broken? Was it bothering him? Did he re-injure it? He
You
was
know, I
noticeably
think,
limping.
and if that ankle or foot was tweaked, at kickoff, well then he's a warrior, and our hats off to him, because that throw he made when he was like completely horizontal to the ground. I
Yeah.
mean, that was insane. I mean, but if he had that injury beforehand, hats off to him. He's just a warrior. He's gonna play through it. If he tweaks something, you hate to see a player of that caliber lose a leg give out on the biggest stage of the sports calendar every year. So you hate to see that, but we don't know what happened. But he's a warrior, and that's what I'm saying. They're going to be back.
And the last one, what if the Chiefs convert that 4th and 9? What if they got the touchdown? What do you think happens?
I call that a junk time touchdown.
Oh, garbage time, no difference?
They weren't coming back.
I kept waiting for the Chiefs run. I think of the Chiefs like as a basketball team. It's like they're gonna make a run.
I don't know if you
And it
noticed,
didn't
but
happen.
like Tony Romo basically would have probably mortgaged his entire house, because he said, "Look, this is a great lead for Tampa," but Tony Romo said, "But we all know the Chiefs are gonna come back."
Right. I would have bought stock in that. If it was halftime, what was the score at halftime? 20 something to 6, right?
Right.
How much money would you put down that the Chiefs were gonna tie the score in the second half?
You're down 15. I'm thinking at some point in time the Chiefs are going to be leading.
I would too. That's
I
what I'm thinking. I'm like, they're coming back. They're coming back. There's
I
no
think
way.
I think at 21-6 they're going to put up 17 points, and it's going to be 23-21 at some point.
I thought we were going to see that stat where they put up the score by quarters at some
Right.
point, and we see the Tampa Bay, three,
minus 4 yards,
right. Yeah. And then I thought we are going to see quarter 3 and 4 was going to have like a 3 and then an offensive explosion by the Chiefs. I was like, I see that stat coming. I see that graphic coming. Never happened. They kept on the gas the whole game.
Right.
We'll never know. Next category. Okay, this one might be my favorite. This category is called It Doesn't Get Any Better Than This. This is the top of the mountain. This is the ultimate moment encapsulated today. It doesn't get any better than this. Our nominees are The Weeknd, Tampa Bay Management, Florida, Scott's Turf Builder, all 43-year-olds, and did I already say Tom Brady? Tom Brady. It doesn't get any better than this. Florida. Is this Florida's ultimate achievement moment? We had a Florida team win. Florida hosted the Super Bowl. Florida never closed their state. Is this Florida's best moment?
I am going to go with management of Tampa Bay Buccaneers for this reason. 4 touchdowns were scored today by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, all by players who are not with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year.
Yeah, I think that's that's the easiest one, is the Tampa Bay player personnel.
That's insane. That's insane. So if you're the GM, go pick out a new Rolls Royce, man, because you're living large.
There is going to be a lot to said for how hard the GM staff parties tonight, because they definitely were the cooks in this kitchen that put together this team as of April last year. So as far as Tampa Bay management goes, yes, I don't think it gets any better than this. What about Florida? What's Florida's most crowning achievement moment? I think this is up there, but I don't think this is there. It doesn't get any better than this. I'd go 80s cocaine era Florida. I think that's Florida's.
So you're talking about the Cocaine Cowboys.
I'm going Cocaine Cowboys era Florida.
I think the home to Scarface. You're right. I'm going to go with that same era. That was impressive.
Yeah, that's Florida's. Okay, did you catch the Scott's Turf Builder commercial?
No, that one I did not.
They had a commercial that had like 8 celebrities in it. And I'm like, Scott's Turf Builder, you got this kind of dough to shell out for a Super Bowl commercial and put all these celebs in it? I'm
They
like,
clearly did.
well done, Scott's Turf Builder. I got to say, this has got to be up there for you. So, Scott's Turf Builder, it doesn't get any better than this moment. It might be.
Who knows? Yeah,
I
that
don't
that
know
was that
what
was
else would be their crowning achievement moment. Maybe when they figured out the chemical compound to grow this turf could be up there, but pretty good moment for Scott's Turf Builder.
Here's the Scott's Turf Builder.
Yes. Okay. What about the weekend? Is this there? It doesn't get any better than this moment.
Can I tell you, I gotta hand it, that probably was one of the best technological performances we have ever seen.
Yeah.
I
What were
think
your
it was,
feelings on that halftime show in general?
I
One
think
of
it
the
was
better
very
one,
easy.
average.
It was easy on the eyes, but you know what? And I don't want to say any disrespect, and I don't want emails from anybody saying, you know how many Emmys he's won. Look, I don't care. Okay. I just think when it's a Super Bowl, now we're at the point where this is the biggest game of the year. You got to bring somebody in that's already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah, we were guessing someone was going to join him. It didn't happen. I really thought it needed something.
and again, and I'm not. He's not. I'm not saying he's. I'm not saying he's not a talented dude. But what I'm saying is, I just think if it's the Super Bowl, you need somebody, that brings that cover song that everyone just goes wild on. And don't get me wrong, the Blinding Lights, that's a great song. And, a lot of people are already covering it already. It's only been out for, a couple years now. And it only didn't get popular till the last year. But you just need somebody big. You need a Bon Jovi. You need a Paul McCartney if he wants to do it. You know what I mean? You
Ooh, that
need
would have been big.
you need Beyonce. You need somebody huge on the Super Bowl at this point.
I agree. It started going, and then he did that thing where he was running like with a selfie stick sort of thing in that lit hallway, and I was like, this is cool. It never got out of that though. It stayed in the middle the whole performance. It never got to a crescendo. It never had that big moment where it really kicked off. And I was like, oh, okay. And I wanted somebody to join him. Like you said, I was like, Beyonce, let's get a Beyonce to make the surprise appearance. It needed it. It really needed it was a B plus at best performance. He
Right.
doesn't dance. I thought he danced or something. He didn't dance. He just sort of sang the song and they had a dance around him. It needed something extra. It wasn't there.
So are we gonna toast it?
What do you think? The performance, the weekend performance, toast. This is the end of the night toast where some people have already left the party, but you're still hanging out. The ties are off, and you're like, hey, toast to us hanging around. And you just sort of give a half hearted toast. So
Oh, so you're right. At that point, well, at that point in the party, I'm just gonna do a line of blow. So just bear with me here, okay?
fair enough.
Kidding.
Hey, back to Florida. It doesn't get any better than this line of blow.
So anyway,
So yeah, I think you have to say this is the weekend's greatest moment because there haven't been any other great moments for him.
right.
Okay. We'll save Tom Brady for the end. How about it doesn't get any better than this? All 43-year-olds.
No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's
Hard to beat this. What other moments as a 43-year-old could beat watching someone your same age win the Super Bowl?
right. Yeah, how about this? Can't get any better than this. Let's talk about the guys getting in the Hall of Fame. Truly special. We don't want to talk too much about it, but Tom Flores, well overdue. I mean, that guy belonged in the Hall of Fame years ago. Drew Pearson, another guy that belonged years ago into the Hall of Fame. And then the five modern era guys, along with Nunn got in, And then you got the five former recent players. We have Calvin Johnson, Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson. I mean, how can you argue with those three? I mean, how can you
Right.
say they don't deserve it? They absolutely deserve it. Faneca, John Lynch. This is a great class. This is a great class. I will say I had one hang up though with the way the NFL awards did it is they announced Peyton Manning, and I imagine they notified the actual inductees in the days or maybe even weeks leading up to it. They just say, hey, keep your mouth shut, and obviously they would, tell your family not to post anything these days. But like, if you're a Clay Matthews fan and you got one spot left and it's between Clay Matthews and Peyton Manning, what are you thinking? And that's not fair to you. That's not fair to you, the fan.
Yeah, announce Peyton first.
Announce Peyton first. He's the headliner. Get the obvious over. You announce Peyton, you announce Charles Woodson, and then you announce Calvin Johnson, and then let's see where the other pieces fall into place. And that's not a knock on Alan Faneca, who was a great, just a great lineman, but he's not going to get the billboard, that Peyton Manning's going to get being the quarterback and, two-time Super Bowl MVP. So I just think, don't do that to a Clay Matthews fan. Don't do that to an Isaac Bruce fan. I mean, just announce Peyton first.
Yeah, talk about burying the lead. That was definitely like a moment where you tear up your horse racing tickets or whatever, where they all throw in the air, or when like you're in a class that's graded on a curve, and then the teacher says the highest grade was 98. You're like, fuck it. What kind of curve is this? This isn't a good curve. Yes, build a little drama here. We all know Peyton was going in first. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah, for Tom Flores, definitely that could be called. It doesn't get any better than this. Although he did win a Super Bowl. Peyton Manning, probably not. He won 2 Super Bowls. Charles Woodson, maybe. Could be it doesn't get any better than this moment.
Interesting about Charles Woodson is he beat Peyton for the Heisman Trophy that year. Was it 97, Patrick? Probably, I think it was a 97 Heisman.
I don't remember, but it would have been Woodson, Manning, and some other players for the Heisman.
But I think Ryan Leaf was in the race, but Woodson beat out Manning, and that was interesting because that was a DB / punt returner that beat out a quarterback for the Heisman. So
right. We haven't had a defensive guy win a Heisman, an MVP at something in a long, long time. That there are little extra points for a defensive guy that wins a Heisman. Although he did return kicks too, so they're a little offense there.
And I don't like to gossip, but how did you feel about Aaron Rodgers thanking his fiance when during the pandemic he just broke up with Danica Patrick, which is like this? Is this like a weird rebound?
I'll say it again. Aaron Rodgers, after his playing career is over, he's going full Cat Stevens. We haven't scratched the surface of what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. He's growing a beard. He might write a tell-all. He might drop off the map entirely. And we don't know. We don't know.
He may prove to us that the world is flat. So I'm not going to count him out of that.
He is a mystery. It seems like he's annoyed with everything. At the same time, he's at peace with everything. I can't figure him out.
And I saw that. It's like he thanks his fiance, and I'm like, you just broke up with Danica Patrick like during a pandemic. I mean, so it's no more than a year ago.
Do we know Aaron Rodgers' resume? He's engaged to this Shailene Woodley girl who's an actress.
Yeah, Danica Patrick before, and it seemed like
Danica Patrick is an ex. Olivia Munn
is an
ex.
Yeah, his parents. He doesn't talk to his parents.
He's got some beef with a brother as well.
A brother who was on The Bachelor. So I mean, this guy is intriguing. Call me crazy.
This Aaron Rodgers gets. Hold on. He gets a bottled beer and a champagne toast because he's off the map. We don't know what he's doing. Aaron Rodgers, you get the first ever champagne and bottled beer toast. Oh my God. Thank you. And by the way, you won the MVP of the league was that his third MVP?
Third one.
What is with Aaron Rodgers? We don't know anything about him. He's a mystery. And then we'll see where he ends up next year. He could be a Green Bay Packer again. He could not be.
Right.
Yeah, good thing you added that in there. That definitely gets an honorable mention. It doesn't get any better than this. Okay, how about the Tom Brady conversation? Let's have it right now. Is this the peak of the mountain for Tom Brady? Is this his greatest moment? Yes or no, winning the Super Bowl?
As of today, this is his greatest moment. It is. He did it away from Belichick, so that I think cements his legacy. But one thing about Tom Brady, which I get even chills talking about, is when Tom Brady said, when a reporter asked him, of all your Super Bowls, which one is the most special? Without even blinking, Tom Brady says the next one.
Yeah.
And that's just us. I mean, that's just a champion's answer. Like I don't care about what I've done in the past. I want the next one. And he just got the next one tonight. And maybe there's one more for him. I'm not gonna count him out next year. But I think, he's just the GOAT, man.
That's why I think he is mostly associated to the Jordan attitude. Jordan wants to win the next year. He wants to win the next game. He wants to win, win, win. LeBron seems like he's thinking 3 moves down the road. He's like, he wants to win the championship. He also wants to do this. He also wants to move to this city. He also wants to make Space Jam. He is thinking on multiple levels. Kobe, another one you can make an argument, is thinking on multiple levels. You could go Muhammad Ali, a greatest of all time, is thinking on multiple levels with social action, competitive action. He knows the value of putting on a good show. Brady and Jordan seem focused on just winning whatever game they're in.
Right.
So, yeah, when it comes to like the athlete's mindset, it seems Brady just is planning one season ahead. Like, I want to win the next season. So you're giving this moment, Tom Brady's, it doesn't get any better than this moment.
It can't possibly get any better than this. So no. Yeah, this is it.
No argument for his Atlanta Super Bowl win?
At that time, yes, it was. But now with this is better.
This tops it? Okay.
This tops it.
Trying to play devil's advocate. Because what are the Tom Brady?
Because and I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to play devil's advocate, but
yeah,
he's already earned the title, the GOAT. So anything he does after this, it's just adds to that.
He's just putting layers on top of layers of his mountain.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
What about this? What's Tom Brady's greatest Super Bowl win? Because from a competitive standpoint, I don't think you would call this one his greatest Super Bowl win. Or would you?
Why not? Why not call this one? One, it was the biggest blowout. It didn't come down to an Adam Vinatieri field goal, right? And that wasn't that the first 3?
Right. It's true.
He had that defensive struggle with the Rams, 2 years ago. It's not his luckiest. His luckiest was by far the Seattle one, where the Pete Carroll doesn't give the ball to Marshawn Lynch, so close to the end zone, and he ends up throwing an
Butler interception, right?
That's just that's probably been Brady's luckiest. That's when
you know how there's the Lord of the Rings trilogy where they have a different kind of name for all the rings. Maybe you could do Brady's Super Bowl wins and give them each a name as far as the chapter, and the Seattle one would be the lucky one. The Atlanta one would be we had to climb the mountain one.
But how that was the comeback. I think that may be the best one because of the comeback. But how lucky were the Giants when they beat Brady twice? I mean, we're talking about two superhuman catches. We're talking about
Right.
give me the Tyree.
Oh yeah,
Tyree,
he was the helmet one.
the
Yeah.
helmet one, and then Mario Manningham catching that sideline, that fingertip grab, and keeping their feet in. I mean, Eli, as much as I love Eli, he couldn't make that throw. He ain't gonna make that throw again.
Right. That was one of the Super Bowls I rewatched, was that Manningham one. And it's shocking how on point Eli is for these two Super Bowl games. You're like, who is this Eli? Who is this guy? He's just throwing dimes and dropping these perfect passes all over the games. Like, we never seen him play like this before.
Now, for every Super Bowl that Brady wins, is Eli Manning's case to being in the Hall of Fame improve?
Right. We scratched the surface on this last time. The Eli argument. You're the greatest of all time. Guess who couldn't get past me? Twice. That is going to be on. If I'm Eli, that's on my business card. That's on my front door. I'd even put it on my jersey. You know how Chad Johnson changed his name to Chad Ochocinco? Eli should put that on his jersey. He should have put like, beat Brady twice. That should be on the, beat Brady twice, completes a pass.
I beat Brady twice, bitches. And that's all you need to say, doggone
it. Brady twice, bitches. Yeah. Yeah. The Eli conversation. He will always have that in his back pocket. In fact, maybe when they both retire, there's a commercial or there's a drama series in the works there of Eli versus Brady.
Yep.
The missing Super Bowls from Brady.
I love it.
Okay, let's move on to that was the categories, but we did, after every Sunday night talk, we did predictions for the Monday coming up. But this was the last game. This was the Super Bowl, but we can now make predictions for the 2021 season. It's way off in the horizon. It seems like it's a lifetime away from now. We've done, how many weeks have we been doing the Sunday night talk? Are we on 18? Maybe more.
This is week 22.
22. So we've done 20. This is our 22nd episode. Now we get to predict the 2021 season. I will give you the floor.
2021 season. Here I am. You look at that pillow sitting right behind me. Deshaun Watson comes to the San Francisco 49ers.
Champagne toast. 2020. Omar is putting down two different types of drinks at one. We've done 22 episodes. This is our first one. We've progressively gotten drunk during the episode. We've debated many topics.
Deshaun Watson goes to the San Francisco 49ers, and they are in next year's Super Bowl, because I said this. What happened to the 49ers was not a Super Bowl hangover. They were still a great team. It's just those guys were decimated by injuries. It's not going to happen again. We're coming back healthy. The 49ers in the Super Bowl, and they're going to get revenge against tonight's Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick, your prediction.
Woo, hot. Good prediction. I didn't see that coming. I thought you were going to say like, oh, we'll see. Teams will be competitive. We'll see some moves. You're like, no, straight up 49ers are going to win. Excellent. Bottle beer toast to that. Okay, my thoughts. 2021 prediction. I say we're back to normal. Fans in the stands. I say 2021 NFL, we experience a real renaissance of league growth, participation. We'll have fans back. We'll have interactions back. We're going to see a lot of off-season moves this offseason. I'm reading rumors. Derek Carr has placed a lot of value, and teams are wanting to talk to Derek Carr, opening up the window for Deshaun Watson to possibly Vegas is in play.
Patrick, that'd be huge.
I'm hearing that. You're taking your tie off. I don't know what's going on the other side of the screen here. So I'm going to say a return to NFL as we know it, 2021. I like the Chiefs bouncing back from this, though. I think they do a lot of soul searching after this loss, and they come back stronger than ever. I say Tom Brady goes out into the sunset next year. I say next year he has a good season, but not a playoff run, not a Super Bowl. I say he goes into the sunset as the greatest of all time. But I go Chiefs, and from the NFC, our strong team in the NFC, I don't see Packers. I don't see Bucks. I don't see New Orleans. I'm going to go off on a super limb here and say, oh, wait, they're not in the NFC. Hold on. All these champagne toasts, I got my teams backwards. I was going to say Miami makes a strong run, but they're the AFC. I am going to go. Let me give this some thought.
Remember, this Super Bowl, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, it's going to be in Los Angeles, right? It's SoFi?
I don't know. I'm looking at my champagne glass and it's almost empty, so I lost track. Oh, okay. Then I'm going to go the second year in a row, home team Super Bowl, Los Angeles Rams represent the NFC.
With Matt Stafford.
With old man Stafford. Stafford. This is a half in the bag prediction I gotta preface with. I have drinking a lot of beers during the game, and now we've put down a few glasses of champagne during this show. So NFC, LA Rams, AFC, Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
2021 prediction. And then to wrap it up, oh, go ahead.
I think it would be appropriate. I think it'd be appropriate if those two teams make the Super Bowl. I think it would be appropriate to play that game in Mexico City, the where their last game was going to be held, but because of the field conditions. So let's do Mexico City next year. That's a good prediction.
Viva Mexico.
Estadio Azteca.
This wraps up the season. This wraps up our Sunday night talk, but 2020 season, final thoughts on it. I thought it's been very easy to criticize the NFL over the years. It's been very easy. However, give a little credit where credit's due. We didn't miss a week of any games. Games were postponed as necessary. They figured out a situation with fans, with empty stadiums, with cardboard cutouts, virtual fans. I thought that was making the best of a situation. And ultimately, they were able to put out a really good product. And I think as the American public, we needed something. When football started, I thought football's going to save us. We're back to normal. It shows the value of us enjoying entertainment, enjoying competition. It's a complete meritocracy. The best players play, the best players win. And the NFL gave us something to cheer about and something to follow this year. So NFL, I give you credit. And then players for putting a great product on the field, I give them credit too. We made it through a tough season. And I have to thank the NFL for doing it. And I think we get back to normal next year and we have NFL.
I do too.
Yeah. So my final thought is the NFL shows what we need on the weekends as entertainment. We enjoy a good product.
We do.
The NFL made it happen despite.
And not only the NFL, I'm going to go my final thought. Tom Brady with the NFL made it happen. I mean, the GOAT, baby.
The GOAT.
The GOAT.
We'll go out on that. That is the 2020 season. That is the last Sunday Night Talk. Final champagne toast to the NFL. To you, Omar, for joining me this whole year.
And that's all the guys. Stay tuned for some changes. We're going to really shake the show up.
All right. I like it. Good teaser. The tie is off. For Omar Carmona, for me, Patrick Ramirez, for the Sunday Night Talk. Thank you, everybody. See you next season.
The pants are off, too.
That deserves a good toast. That is the show, everybody. That is the Sunday Night Talk season finale, Dressed for Success edition. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Gosh, that was a lot of champagne. Well, we had a lot to toast about. And now I probably will have to lie down. I want to thank everybody who listened. I want to thank Omar Carmona, my partner, for this whole season, for lending his insight all year long. What a year. Congratulations, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You did it. You won the season. I'm happy it all worked out great. Hey, don't forget, see me doing live stand-up comedy February 19th and 20th at Wise Guys Comedy Club in Salt Lake City. That's going to be a great set of shows. Come see me if you're in the area. Hey, maybe we can have our own Sunday night talk. Why not? It's going to be a long off season. So get ready. Once again, thank you everybody for listening. Tune in to my YouTube channel. Catch my other show on it, Running It Back. Have something planned for this week you can tune in to. Should be good. Thank you, NFL. Thank you, 2020 NFL season. So, for me, Patrick Ramirez, for Omar Carmona, and all those who listened, have a good off season.